When they say or talk about the ones who decide to go MIA and return just out of the blues, I am one of the culprits, and I'm literally not lying because it has been a minute. How is everyone doing? Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to wherever you are listening in from. This is Just Chat Podcast. You are entertained by some interesting factors about mental health, the banter. We get a little bit drifty. We give you interesting facts about the many, many aspects of life that every single human being gets to experience, whether you're female or male. And without further ado, how you doing? You've been well? It is 2025, and right here in the 254, it's literally started with drizzles, rain, hailstones. It's been an interesting month, and it's February now, and things are still moving interestingly well. And back to me, this is all about me. I'm messing with you guys. I missed you so much. My name is Daniel, or in this platform, many guys refer to me as Danny the Storyteller. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of the banter. I don't know why. Yeah. It's been a long time. It's been a minute since we last did our last podcast, which was in last year, October. I cannot forget that time, and I went silent, and I am back with interesting factors and growth things that I'd like to share with you guys and learn. But before everything else, welcome. If you're tuned in for the first time, if you're listening to me from wherever you're from, welcome. This is where the banter happens. This is where I share intimate stories about mental health, personal experiences I've had, experiences I've talked to people about. And I would like to share with you a win that I recently acquired. I became a life coach. It's been something I honestly never thought I'd do. Let me just be straight up with you guys. I never thought I'd be a life coach. Never thought I'd get to a point where I want to literally understand the brain, or literally understand how life really works in a deeper way, both psychological and physical and emotionally, in every aspect. And it really helped me a lot to get to learn about holistic things. Holistic is literally to do with the mentality, physical things, emotional things. It's been a journey, and I am happy to have acquired that craft that I can now come back here and tell you things as a professional. Not tell you things that according to what I read. Well, there are parts I'll definitely share according to what I read. But it's amazing how when you grow and you learn something new, you do get to feel acknowledged, not only from other people, but also from your inner self. You feel proud of yourself. And that is one thing I am proud of. And even moving forward and trying to understand some things, even before I go even deeper, how has your life been? Yeah, you can write it in the comment section down there. Yeah. I told you we were gonna drift and we're gonna entertain ourselves. My personal experience with growth has been interesting. From when we actually last interacted and got to talk about things on our last episode, right now I have come with a bigger perspective of me having learned, having experienced, having felt, having seen, and having finally understood that some things in life are just there to happen, are just meant to happen. And you should always trust your instincts. On October 5th, I cannot forget that day. On October 5th, I got an opportunity of growth. Professionally, it was a milestone. It is a milestone where you gain favor from God, and He gives you, and now He reciprocates it to bring favor upon people, where you get so much favor you're even overwhelmed. And truth be told, even sometimes you feel like you have nothing to show for it, like most people do, like tangible cars, tangible. But in the physical, you cannot basically understand what's really happening to your life until you sit down and be like, okay. I actually got to learn to ask why now. Why is this happening now? So let me go to the story, my people. October 5th, I got an opportunity to become a manager, an artist manager to an international artist. Someone who's growing, someone who's blessed and getting there. So that's an opportunity I gained, and I'm moving with it. Right now it's been progress on progress. But then we had gone for a welcome party, and people got to entertain themselves and do the little things that they love. But when leaving, watu wangu, me and my guts, that time I'm full of myself. I'm like, we got out, I'm moving, I'm switching lanes. We switched lanes with the bag. Because truth be told, I did not take an Uber from exactly the point I was supposed to take the Uber from to get home. It was around 3:45 or 4 a.m. if I'm not wrong, and I decided to walk. This was like, let me just walk, because people are now getting out. It was on a Sunday, and means of transport, public means in our country start from around 4 a.m. even 3:30 depending on locations. But we have early risers, so I decided to walk. On walking, I met 3 dudes. One of them was super tiny, and I was like, if he decides to jump me, I can handle him. The fact that I actually thought about being jumped would have been my first trigger to tell me, yo, you need to turn back, get an Uber and go home. You do not need to walk on this road. So that ninja, he passes me. He's like, yo, kuna kabaridi, it's pretty cold. And I ignore, I'm like, And me knowing myself, knowing that may have done, some here and there, kickboxing, I was like, yeah. Little did I know that across the road there was another ninja who was just ready for war. Yeah, so I'm going, and I'm almost getting to the intersection. Yeah, the intersection for getting to the highway and the one to actually now use public means of transport for me to get to my location. So I try crossing. Then this big ninja who was across the road just passes, and I'm like, maybe he's going to the intersection, and he did. He actually just went a few meters past. But then in a split of a second, and I'm not telling you in the split of a second, like, no, before you even breathe out, this ninja had just come back, hit me from my neck, from the right side to be exact, and I fell, and I did not fall to the ground. I can laugh about it right now, but it was traumatizing at that time. But I can laugh about it right now because, man, I was silly. That was on me. So this ninja hits me even before I get down. If you people have watched these cartoons that had bullies who just put a wedgie on kids or just put them upside down and wiggle them around with their legs on top and their hands waving down, that was me. So that guy frisked me without even touching me. And I remember my smartphone fell. It was on my denim jacket, but I held it so fast and put it back. But my ID and my tiny banner phone, just Katululu, it fell down. And I remember the first thing I did was just hold on to that small ninja, because he was the one who was robbing me. The other one was the muscle, because he never talked, man. That guy never talked. And whatever he hit me with was, yo, man, I was down. Oh, I was down. I remember the only thing that came out from my mouth was, I have an ID. So, and I remember that small ninja, because I had held him and I was ready for war. I was like, if I'm gonna die with him. I told him I have an ID, and now it was fight or flight. And I remember being told one thing by my coach: if it's 2 people and one of them is bigger than you, just run. I know you know how to defend yourself, but sometimes you just have to run away. Just run away. So I gave them my ID, and I remember this tiny ninja telling me, because I didn't have anything to give them. Well, I did have 1,000 bob in my pocket, and God is good, because they did not see the smartphone. So all I did when this big ninja let me go, all I did was just look at them for like a split second, and then I walked away, and then all of a sudden I started running, because I was like, what if they decide to frisk me again and check me again, and I'm not ready to fight because I am so disoriented from the trauma. So this is what happened when I got to the house. I was really dirty. I did not take an Uber. This is the one thing that happened because I was so triggered by that thing because I felt like I'm untouchable, to be honest. You feel like you are, since you have acquired some skills in your life that have taught you some, be alert around environments and everything. But I was naive at that time. I hadn't understood. Maybe I was like, proud of myself for gaining that favor from God. But then I had to, whew, man, it was messed up because in the public means in the matatu, all I was thinking about, the trigger that I kept thinking about was, what if I just went back there and injured those people? And probably found my ID because that's important. So I went, reported, not that day, the following day, because when I got to the house, I was really triggered. I remember staring at the wall for almost 15 minutes, replaying, flashing back on all that occurrence that has literally left me. It's like God was reminding me, yo, remember the world is still, Yeah, but nothing really major happened. No injury. It was just a stiff neck for a few days. And I was good to go. Got my ID and everything was speak and span. Got a new tiny phone and things were good. But the experience itself really heightened my senses in terms of being alert. I used to walk with earpods sometimes when listening, but nowadays I don't, because I particularly do not want to put myself in a position of just trying to listen to the music and still trying to be alert at the same time. You get me? That was just banter. That was just me giving you a story of what really transpired over my holiday season. And that's one thing that I remember. It was more of a highlight to me because I got to understand that intuition and you understanding the fact that I really thought about. Now, here's the thing. I hope you recall the first time I started this story. I told you from the word go, from the moment I saw that tiny ninja, the first thing my intuition told me, I will be able to defend myself if he tries to rob me. That was my intuition telling me, bruh, yeah, you are already in the right direction. Just get an Uber and go home. Stop pretending or feeling like you got this. You don't. Some things are out of your control, and it was out of my control, to be honest. They never noticed I had the 1,000 bob in my pocket because I had really put it somewhere. Yeah, you cannot get it just like that. And for the smartphone as well. But yeah, what happened. I am grateful to God for the protection, and it's been always there. Now for the win, you grow. And ever since then, I've gotten to meet exclusive people, got to talk to many people, and I've gained some growth. And I want to share a story with you guys where now, when becoming a life coach, I've gotten my mind has been open to bigger perspectives. And even my spirituality has grown. I've gotten to learn more about God, experience Him in more intense ways than I actually did. And this podcast will be a little bit different. We are speaking on mental growth, and I'm going to involve a little bit of you understanding yourself, you understanding where you actually want to be in life and how you can actually grow spiritually. Because to be honest, let me tell you things that most people will probably fear telling you or have restrictions telling you because maybe they do not have the facts right, or fear. And fear is a weapon that is mostly used by the, enemy. Now, yeah, I started doing some tapping. Nimewaka, yeah. December became an eye-opener. Actually, from around August 2024 became an eye-opener where acquaintances no longer became acquaintances, friends no longer became friends, and now other acquaintances became friends, and friends with benefits, not friends with benefits in the way you're thinking. You got a nasty mind. But friends with benefits in terms of growing financially, growth, getting to learn myself more. And as a human, acceptance is one of the hardest things you can actually do. Yes. And when you get to actually accept something, you learn a lot and doors are opened. Now, my growth started when I was in denial of, here's the funny thing. Fear is so there. Fearing is so there. Like when you hear something is evil, you fear it because you know the repercussions of messing with something evil. But when something is pure, or so when something is clean, you basically don't even think about any repercussion, right? I mean, it's pure, so what gives? What is there? Punishment? Is there anything that will happen if I go against something pure? And this is where we all go wrong. And this is not judging. This is me giving my perspective of things and how I've learned, and also giving you my hint of growth that really came in a way I never expected it to. So denial is always there. Denial is brought by fear of the unknown and not wanting to understand yourself more and not wanting to open your mind to growth. But you being in your comfort zone for so long, you get to a point where you now feel like, this is a life. Now, you atuwezagi, you never really get to understand it until you sit down or start seeing other people progressing in a certain perspective of your life that you are like, wait. Yeah, I also want this for myself. You feel me? Now, when an experience comes to your life and you feel like you've been open to like a larger scale of what really happens, even people around you start seeing you differently. Now, this is up to you. You can decide for them to see you in a bad way or in a good way. But let me tell you one thing for a fact. Whatever people think about you doesn't really matter, because all in all, it is you against yourself. You are your own competition, even when it comes to growth. Yeah? The others are just a pump. The others are just pumping you. You having friends who are in another level or on another level or a larger scale than you. Those are more of like motivating factors, but you are always competing against yourself because you want to be limitless. But the mind always has limits. It limits you because you've already gauged yourself to think to a certain capacity. But when you stop thinking to a certain capacity, now you see yourself in a more bigger range. And you even see, let me give an example. Financially, you can even see 300 million Kenya shillings being a small amount. I know you're saying, wow, wait, what? Yeah, it is a small amount. Because your mind can actually fathom the fact that you can get there. You feel me? Yeah, I've been saying a lot of you feel me's lately. It's like, you feel me? So, most people can be curious to get to understand every single relationship they have. Be it romantic, be it financial, be it beneficial, be it family related, long distance cousin, or just an acquaintance you meet along the road. You might be curious as to how you all relate, because nowadays conversations have been different. When it comes to a point of spirituality, because this topic is always there, most people fear it, and the ones who don't fear it go in the complex perspective of every single aspect of their lives, and they try to understand what really happens and why it happens and when it happens, why it really happens and when it happens. So many aspects. Let me make it as simple as possible for you to understand. Everything starts with mind. When you wake up to talk, when you open your eyes in the morning, it's your mind now working. It's your brain using every single particular body nutrient it can get to, for your body to function well, for you to go for a long call, for you to go for a short call, for you to walk from one premises to another. Everything that has been created has a soul. And the Bible is deeper than what people think. Now, for you to understand these things, you have to experience it alone in your own way. For you to actually understand that your growth also happens when you understand that there's a higher power at play. And the higher power is God, definitely. The one who created you, the one who put you on this earth to experience every single thing. And also acknowledge Him, because once you acknowledge Him, then you actually gain everything. Consistency also plays a big role in your growth. And also, for you to actually grow spiritually, you also have to be consistent with your praying, with everything. And this is what I got to learn. And this topic gives so many people cringe, because they feel like talking about God, you're gonna seem not so cool, you're gonna seem like you are in too deep, you're more holier than thou. No, we ain't doing that. Fuck that shit. Yeah, I just cussed. Because y'all need to understand that God is eternal, God is everlasting. And when you go read in the book of Genesis 23 verse 22, Genesis 3:22 actually. Yeah, Genesis 3:22, God said that man has become like one of us. He now knows the difference between good and wrong. But let him not eat from the tree of life, because he will gain eternal life. That is why they were banished. What does that word tell you, really? I feel for me, when it comes to growth, when I really understood that it meant that you have gained a certain specific ability. When Adam and Eve did the thing, you gained a certain ability in your life, in your perspective, that you are created already in the likeness of God. So even mentally, you should never have prescriptions that have to keep you at bay so that you can be limited to whatever you can actually attain in life. This is all I'm saying. So my story started in a very interesting way. Yeah, I know you all have been thinking, amefika mbali, man. It's like yeah, that was a bit of murmuring. But I hope you're entertaining yourselves. I hope you are enjoying, and I hope you are getting something from this podcast, because we always entertain and always make sure we enlighten before we say goodbye to you guys at the end of every episode. But now, as I was saying, mamas are always there. People will talk, you will listen to every single perspective of everyone, but it's up to you. My growth started differently, and it always starts differently for every single person. But it's never the same. It's never the same for you or me or them or those or themselves or those ones. But this is what happened to me. One time I was supposed to go to run an errand. I didn't go to run the errand. I had things for a certain person I used to call a friend at that time, yeah? And my intuition just told me, you know what? You see those times when you're like, take this to them. Yeah, this is the right time. Because you're free now, just rush, take it, and then come back. That's what I did. I took the things, walked. It wasn't as far, so I did decide to walk. I went, I took them, only for me to find myself in the middle of stab me in the back situation. And for me, it wasn't like what the situation. Nah, I was like, haha, oh wow, really interesting. So this is it. Thank you for opening my eyes. That was now when I got in deep with the life coaching, so that because it really helped me. I got to learn so many perspectives of getting to understand people and getting to understand why they do certain things towards you, and you don't have to feel remorseful or have to feel angry because of that experience, because you related, both of you related in that exact way, and whatever you did and whatever that person did is what led them to that towards that specific action that they did. You see? So it's not your problem, it's not your fault, and it's not their fault. It was just a trigger in between that actually made this happen. And until you people talk about it, if you're willing to, or just, call it quits and move on with life and grow, then that's it. Because growth comes in those two perspectives, whether you all talk about it or whether you decide, I go my way, or you go your way, and I fix myself, you fix yourself in how you know best. And if we meet, fine. If we don't, then life, kudos. It was an experience and you appreciate it. Same thing with relationships. I always say this: if all the people I talk to, most of the people I actually have more one-on-one intimate conversations with, I tell them life is like a football match. There will always be a winner and a loser. It's just up to you to decide which side you're on and how you're gonna maneuver and do it. So success is a personal decision. Success is a personal decision that is triggered by the factors that are around you, even the environment. I'm still growing. And I feel like every single day I get to learn something new. I get to be around people who have already maybe attained something in their life that I would also need and desire for my life. It's like, yeah, this is a challenge. But I do not see it as, why did they get there? Every single day, I used to wake up when I was in that rock bottom place in my life where I felt like nothing was good enough for me. I used to wake up and I was like, why is it happening for so and so? But then when it gets to me, I'm like, why, God? Like, some days I'd wake up and I'd be like, yo, let's fight. Let me fight you, and when I win, yeah, we gonna do this the hard way. Silly ass nigga, and it was interesting. But when you accept, that's when growth comes in. This is where the growth comes in, because now you have allowed yourself to get to learn more about yourself. You know your limits, you know your strongholds and your weak points. And this is where you also get to meet the right person for you. And I don't mean the right person for you among everyone else, it is only one person. No, I mean when you decide that you actually want to grow in your own self and you're working on yourself for the betterment of those around you, you get to meet the right people, even in perspectives of your finances start growing. Maybe you move out from the place you currently were in and get to a better place. Relationships, you get to meet the right lady, the right guy for you. Because everything takes commitment. Even you waking up, you can decide to take a sleeping pill and sleep for 26 hours, 48 hours. We have sleeping pills with that, type of strength capacity to make you sedate you for that long. But when you wake up, you open your eyes and you decide to get out of bed, it's a decision you've made. You're like, yeah, it's high time, or maybe I can sleep longer and wake up at 12 p.m. because I'm not going anywhere. It's a decision you've made. So ask yourself a question. When will your growth start? Or how has your growth been ever since you decided to tell yourself, yes, acceptance is this way? You have a circle of friends who maybe live in a way better place than you do. But anytime you meet them, you're like, yeah, I moved out and yeah, I'm living in my, all those stories, yeah? Acceptance comes in this way. You go and tell them, nah, me, I'm still in my old place, eh? Yeah, but eventually, you guys don't worry, me najipanga. That acceptance comes in, and then you see, when they get to learn that you are also doing it, like you're making moves for yourself, they'll be like, why don't we help him? We can chip in, and he's doing and he's honest with us. But if you're not honest, these people always think, say Badako in the same position we are in, so we're good. So we can actually go to, we can take a road trip to a place like Namanga, and he can hire a car, and we can all do all this because all of us can afford it. But the problem comes in when you get to that position, you're like, hey guys, I don't think I'll make it. Maze, kuna venye neza kuamboka hiyo day, wachini nifanye hivi, nitawatumia do extra, mtumie hiyo do. So because you don't have the money to afford it at that time. It's not bad, it's just that you have not gotten to your position because you have not accepted the fact that you need to grow and get to that position, because in the middle of that success, there are lessons that you have to learn. There are lessons that you have to put in the work so that you actually learn. And once you learn, that experience will help you teach someone else because you accepted it. And you help this other person accept it because now they see you are in a more similar position that I was way back, but you maneuvered because you accepted the fact that you were in that position and you were willing to learn. The same thing, if you're willing to learn about God, you have to go through some things. You have to sacrifice the drugs you use. I mean, I am still battling that. When you indulge in some entertainment things, it's like when you give a baby sugar. It's like when you give me sugar. When you give me sugar, I get intense sugar rush. I'm like, I want it more. And I'm a stubborn ninja when I have sugar. Like the literal sugar, guys. Like sugar, sukari. Yeah. But all in all, it's always a personal decision, and it starts with that one decision you make for yourself. I don't know about you, man. I do not know about what you're thinking. All I know is that when you're listening to such a podcast, when you listen to me, I want to give you the facts straight. I want to tell you that you deserve better. You deserve more than what you're giving yourself right now. DIY, do it yourself. And that's why the best things that you actually get out of life, when you do them yourself, you are so proud of it because you are like, wow, nilichangamka nikamaliza hii kitu na nikamaliza na nikaifanya. Don't worry about what they say, man. As long as it doesn't imprint on your fair forehead, move on, do it. By the way, guys, I do voices. So if you want to hire me to do a cartoon voice, an old granny voice, or a whatever voice, I can also do like mew like a cat. Yeah. That was a little product placement. I hope you're tuned in. I hope you're enjoying. I hope you are having a nice time. Definitely I have to tell you that we are moving. This was more of like an intimate podcast, yeah? When we start the year, we have to give you factors and facts about getting to learn about these things. We cannot leave you alone. No. And when I say we, I say Just Chat Podcast affiliated with Danny, the storyteller, and, I'm the producer. Why am I giving TMI? I don't know why I'm giving TMI. As I was saying, guys, the decision is all up to you. You're the one to decide whether you want to get to be in that private plane, or you just want to be part of a group that gets in a private plane. Do you want to move, or do you want to be moved? Yeah. Do you want to kiss that girl, or do you want to see her being kissed by another guy? Hey. She that. Yeah. And once you understand all this about yourself, about how you want to grow in your life and which position you are at that time, then trust me, you will never find it hard to progress, because all you will have this insatiable urge to want to always learn. You will always have that insatiable urge to always want to learn, because you're like, okay, I've already achieved this. So what next? So what next? So what next? So the commitment becomes a habit. And once commitment becomes a habit, you will never find consistency an issue. Because you're like, people say a person with routine is a person with OCD. A person who has a certain routine that they do is a person with OCD. Then I feel like we all have OCD. I mean, there is this specific routine every single person has in the morning and at night. In the middle of the day, it doesn't really matter. Everyone is moving, everyone is doing their own different things. But in the morning, when you wake up, or it's very interesting how every single person has a specific routine in the morning and at night. Then probably we all have OCD and more in the morning, and it's like, relapse OCD. You wake up, you have OCD, then it stops, then it gets back at night. Bruh. No. Routine is just principle. Routine is just a discipline where everyone acquires. Not everyone has to acquire. Let me scratch has. Everyone acquires, their routine and their craft in their own way. Now it's up to you to see your life and sit down and be like, okay, yeah, I feel like this is the right direction I can actually follow, and I do not want to be, a nuisance to myself. Every morning I wake up and I'm asking myself, why am I in this position? Aye, Aje, where? It's you, where? Why are you walking away from the podcast? Listen, where? Why are you removing the... This is Just That Podcast. This was episode 2.0 of 2025, the start of a new year, a new vibe. Whoever still does those New Year resolution things, kudos to you. And to those who really understand life and have already gotten to that point in life, then thank you, and help those who are still getting there. Just open their eyes to little factors that probably would help them. Don't dictate what you did. That's the problem most people do. It's like, me nilidu hivi. So unaweza nah. Just share your experience and let them follow through, and however they feel they want to do it, then let them do it. So after all that experience, after being jumped, after growth, after finding that those people I felt that were particularly almost close to me were actually stabbing me in the back, I feel like they were just gathering information and then, just have a meeting. Because my people, mi nilipata kasoda hapo. Well, I do understand they had other conversation pointers. I mean, I can't be the only topic, but yeah, the fact, this is how body language works. Let me share a little bit of knowledge that I've acquired. This is how body language works. If at all someone was particularly talking about you or thinking about you, let me start with thinking about you. If someone was thinking about you and you suddenly pop into the room, they will not really maintain eye contact with you as much. They will be a little bit fidgety and pretend not to notice you because, they were thinking about you, so they don't want to make it too obvious. This happens to every single human, regardless of gender. Now, physically, it's different. When you find them red-handed, when they were talking about you, when they were literally talking about you, there is a dead, literal silence in the room. The room is dead silent. It's like, he entered. So they are so silent. No one is laughing. No one is doing anything. They're so silent because maybe he had, maybe he didn't, but we don't have anything in our brains that's really running. So let's be quiet until this person leaves the room. So that was my experience. And since I already had learned that, I read in between the lines. So all I did was like, so y'all are here? Okay, let me leave you guys to it. And I left. There was a huge squeak of a bye there that, you tend to feel that. So I did feel the pinch, but there was a relief. It's like a load was let off my system. It's like I didn't know how to let go of this particular circle. That now, when this specific thing happened, God allowed me to move on. It's like, bro, now I think I've given you so many opportunities to move on, but you ain't. So let me give you one. Let me give you one knock on the head that will literally make you see. This ain't real people. This ain't real friends. And I know most of us are always afraid of not having a formation. When it gets to Friday, Saturday, you have nowhere to go. You're all chilling in the house and you're like, maybe they're doing something. No. Accept, progress. You will definitely get to a point of elevation where you don't particularly need to be called for the fun. You are literally the fun. So wherever you go, anywhere you go, you get to feel a piece of life that you are always missing. But you have to accept. So that happened to me. When I left the gate, I remember when I left their compound, when going back to my house, I was laughing. I was happy. It's like, wow, wow, okay. Okay. This is what she and he did. Okay. Wow, fantastic. One may think it was me being sarcastic or me being angry, and maybe, My anger makes me stammer and laugh a little and actually giggle, but it's the giggling of like a psychopath, Yeah, this person gonna do something. You better walk away. But that wasn't the case. I was relieved. I was happy. I went laughing. I kept thanking God for opening my eyes, because after that, there was one huge elevation that happened for me, and I'm proud of it because it came at the right time. I accepted. And I still have a journey of acceptance I still need to do, because I have other motives and movements that I have to make. I already understand that now. But you always have to put God first. Seek ye the kingdom of God. Everything else has been given unto you. Literally. Let me give you a scenario. I know every single person has had stories or maybe read or seen on YouTube these stories about witches, witch doctors, people who actually deal with the enemy, the devil. The commitment, this is the truth. The commitment these people have to their God is very interesting. Like they do things, they'd fast, they'd go sleep in graves, they'd walk naked, they'd do every single thing to gain favor from the entity they're serving, from the deity they're serving, yeah? But when it comes to Christians who serve God, since He's already told you He's given you everything, you feel there's leniency not to serve Him when you're happy. Yeah, like only when you're angry, when you're sad, it's like, God, now why? Hey, why now? You forget that this also needs commitment and consistency. It's as simple as that. Even the Bible commands you to actually follow and fast seek His kingdom. Once you do that, once you continue seeking His kingdom, everything else shall be established, everything else shall be given unto you, because it is growth. You've already gotten to understand that finances are there, but there are some level of growth that you actually need for you to touch certain numbers. Because you cannot touch 1 billion, and when you have like 50K in a week's time, you're like, what did I do with this money? Okay. I cannot track 30,000, but I remember I used 20,000 to go rave. Well, that's just an example. Not everyone is like that. Maybe 20K went out, we went out, you bought some things for the house, but you can't really track where this 30,000 went. How are you going to manage 1 billion? Come on. Or 1 million, forgetting the B. You have to learn, you have to be around an authentic type of aura for you to actually know how to manage certain numbers. And that is why elevation for the people in darkness moves so fast, because they do these things with so much consistency and commitment that they are elevated chap in 4 days, 3 days. But when it comes to commitment with God, there's this doubt, you don't fear Him. People fear the devil, but they don't fear God, because, and fear is an element of the enemy. It's always used by him. I mean, that's his to go to, in trigger. But anyway, once you understand that commitment to God is rewards, endless rewards, then that is when also your spiritual growth and mental growth becomes to be something of a norm to you, because now you understand that there are some things I should do, some things I shouldn't do, some things I should condone. I can use this, I can't use this, And it's a discipline. It doesn't matter who's around you or who's not around you. It's just a matter of discipline. And once you have that discipline, even people around you will literally respect you for that discipline, and they will never cross your line. Sorry about that. So listen, engage yourself, and always let yourself grow. And when you feel like something is not working, come on, do away with it. Do away with it as fast as possible. If you have no power around it, if you feel like you have no power around something, if it's uncontrollable, then find a contingency plan. Yeah? Don't be discouraged. Don't feel like you are worthless. You are not. You are literally a piece of gem. If only you knew the potential you actually have in yourself, you'd be shocked. You'd be so shocked. You'd be asking yourself, hey, why was I limiting myself to such? Why was I limiting myself to such? Why was I limiting myself to such? So it will be one of the most interesting experiences you have, and I would definitely love to hear why. Not why. I would definitely love to hear your side of your growth story. Share it to someone. Share it with me, and get to learn every single thing. You see, after being jumped, now I'm very cautious. I not like I'm afraid or anything. Anywhere I walk, I'm like, yeah, I see you. Yeah. When I kuona, okay. So I've already gauged the room. I've already seen. Okay. It might be safe, but I have to be sure. So that really opened my. It was growth in its own way. I mean, they would have done more brutality to me, but all they took was an idea and a tiny phone, of which they probably used now. Oh, I don't know. But yeah, the price has already been paid in full. So guys, listeners, I know this was more of a chilled, perspective of life and growth. But let your growth be something you're proud of. Let it be an experience where you sit down, you're like, wow. This was fire. This was ilikuwa moto. It was something entertaining for you. It was something that made you want more, because you'd be telling yourself, if this is the growth I'm having, then why not give myself more? Why don't I just go for it? So be the best version of yourself. Just don't wait until you get to that rock bottom position like I did, and then now you start working on yourself. Just give yourself the opportunity to be proud of yourself. That's all I can say. Yeah, don't let people look at you and they say, yeah, you be the first one to gas yourself up. By the time you're getting out of that crib, you've been looking at yourself in the mirror. Hey, you're like, hey, but wait, hey, this is me. I look like a snack and a whole meal and dessert at the same time. Wow, Daniel. That type of vibe. By the moment you get out, you already have that aura in you. So even everyone who sees you, and even bad days are there. It's just yourself, to allow yourself to feel. But once you feel it, don't allow it to be you. This was just an experience. I've learned it, and now I've known how to handle it. So my people, this was Just Chat Podcast. This was the newest episode in 2025. We're going to move swiftly. We're going to bring you so many interesting things. I'm bringing a new segment. I will give you something to think about. Music. Yeah. And it's going to be an entertainment section where you get to learn about your music and get to learn what you really, what I like, what you like, what they like, what everyone likes. I know, And I wish you an awesome time. I wish you an awesome rest of your day, rest of your night. If you're still in the afternoon, I hope you enjoy the rest of your time. If it's morning, please also count me in your cup of coffee or tea or milk or juice. Yeah. Nothing else. This was Daniel. Thank you so much. Until the next episode, have a nice time. Enjoy yourself and God bless you. And I hope you got to learn something. This is growth. And this is the time you get to learn about yourself more intensely. So